And Donald Trump also has a contractual obligation. Like he has a contract clause like The Rock. The Rock can't be defeated in any of the movies that he's a part of, or at least back in the day, that was the case. And Donald Trump is going to make like these contractual stipulations that he has to be, one, the main actor, and two, he has to be handsome, and three, he can never be defeated in battle.
It's a Hollywood blockbuster merger.
Oh, yeah, this one is so ass. Hold on, I gotta pee.
That would shake up the entertainment industry. Streaming giant Netflix announced it struck a deal to buy Warner Brothers film and TV studio for $72 billion. Regulators still need to approve the merger. Elaine Quijano looks at what it would mean for subscribers and people working in the industry.
Fans want to know, where can I watch my favorites?
We all are ready for one last war.
#1 streamer Netflix plans to buy Warner Brothers film and studio, including HBO and HBO Max.
What could this deal mean for consumers?
It probably means that they will have access to less content. Now, a lot of people already subscribe to Netflix, so they will get more content, but likely Netflix will charge a higher price for that.
Prices have already risen. Last year, on average, U.S. households paid $48 a month for all TV subscriptions. This year, it's $70. Monthly fees for Netflix have nearly doubled over the last decade.
Netflix, which has massive distribution and a really, really good algorithm that presents content to us, will be paired with some of the greatest content ever made.
Competitors like Paramount Skydance, the parent company of CBS News, said in a letter that Warner Brothers appears to have abandoned the semblance and reality of a fair transaction process. And the Writers Guild of America put out a statement saying this merger must be blocked.
Not so fast!
Netflix says this deal will offer more to consumers, combining Hollywood classics and modern-age marvels into one.
The Netflix move is only part of the sale. The other is the spin-off of Warner Brothers cable channels, including CNN. That could still attract other bidders. All of this still faces regulatory approval. For CBS Saturday Morning, I'm Elaine Quijano in New York.
On the one hand, it means no Ellison. I know, but it's like it's insane to me that is the machinations here. That's the calculation that we have to do, where it's like, well, at least it's not Larry Ellison who bought yet another valuable media property, consolidating the influence he has further. Plus, Ellison can still get CNN as a separate entity from Warner Brothers, regardless. Everything is shitty. Everything sucks. David Dane has a piece on this. Just because it's not the Ellisons doesn't make the Netflix Warner Bros. Merger benign. It's anti-competitive. Blocking it as Trump may. Just to stage manage a team up with Paramount would be anti-competitive too. Consolidating Hollywood is the problem. Paramount is now reportedly looking to launch a hostile bid for Warner Bros. They feel their $30 a share all cash offer is higher than what Netflix offered in terms of cash stock and the value of the cable business spinoff. Start again. Load the 2016 save. Yeah. Where is it? Where are we? Oh, here it is. David Dane writes, the only part of the rationale Netflix gives to this merger that rings true is more value for shareholders. Fewer streaming options or a streaming landscape where two of the three largest outlets have the same corporate parent likely means a continuation of the price hikes that we're already seeing. Meanwhile, fewer bidders will likely put downward pressure on contracts and rates, so Hollywood talent will be paid less and customers will be paid more. That feels pretty anti-competitive and should draw a merger challenge. Also, it's going to depress wages for people working in the entertainment sector. But obviously, chatters will say, hey, guess what? Those guys are rich. So, those actors, why should they get paid more for their labor? And if your mentality is like that, you actually are defending the mega corporations and the mega mergers without realizing it. Okay? Remember that. Not to make the same point over and over again, but when you are actually defending on principle, when you are actually attacking people who are saying like, oh, actors will get paid less in the process for this, you technically are taking a position that is very, very, very much in favor of the capital ownership class here. Okay? This feels pretty anti-competitive and should draw a merger challenge. Netflix is likely going to follow these claims that Meta made in dodging a monopolization challenge, that it competes with a multitude of other claims on people's time from YouTube to social media. But this is ridiculous. The logical endpoint of that claim is that Netflix isn't a monopoly because people can always shut their eyes and sleep. There's clearly a market in paying a company for a monthly fee to watch, produce entertainment, and Netflix is consolidating it. Yeah. Nice millennial Bill Maher hat, Unc. Yeah. Netflix CEO also in the process said that the dual release of Netflix co-CEO Ted Sarandos said the current state of the box office is a sign that people want to watch movies at home. What is the consumer trying to tell us? That they like to watch movies at home. Thank you. The studios and the theaters are duking it out over trying to preserve this 45-day window that is completely out of step with the consumer experience of just loving a movie. He also even came out and said that the double release, the Barbenheimer double release, which became like an event on its own, would have actually had the same level of attention and eyeballs if it was a dual release on Netflix. And of course, that is not the case. Being able to go to a different like third space that is not work and it is not home, and engage in this like collective experience is unique in and of itself. Not only that, but also the movie theater enjoyment of content, the movie theater experience in and of itself is something that, you know, directors and people who make this art want to tailor an experience around the way of consuming this content. Drive-in theaters still exist. I doubt movie theaters will be totally phased out. The world's largest streaming company swallowing one of its biggest competitors with antitrust laws were designed to prevent, says the Writers Guild of America. More like the Wokers Guild of America, obviously. The outcome would eliminate jobs, push down wages, worsen conditions for all entertainment workers, raise prices for consumers, and reduce the volume and diversity of content for all viewers. Industry workers, along with the public, are already impacted by only a few powerful companies maintaining tight control over what consumers can watch on television, on streaming, and in theaters. The merger must be blocked. No one should be going to the theater while COVID is still a thing. Oh, I shouldn't have read that. It's not bait. You need to stop. You need to... I'm taking my glasses off. I don't need to see anymore. I've seen enough. I'd rather be blind. Okay. W bait. Yeah. I love
Netflix has struck a nearly $83 billion deal to acquire Warner Brothers, beating out Paramount and Comcast after a bidding war. If finalized, it would unite the world's largest streamer with one of Hollywood's oldest studios, giving Netflix access to major franchises like the DC Universe, Game of Thrones, and Harry Potter. Warner Brothers would spin off cable networks, including CNN, TNT, and TBS, before the deal closes.
Did you enjoy having COVID? Yes. Chatter is right. You disease perverts are killing people. Yes, I love having COVID, and I love spreading COVID, and I think all of the third spaces are specifically designed. Yes.
The move raises big questions about the future of theatrical releases and serious concerns about market concentration. It's expected to face intense antitrust scrutiny from the Trump Justice Department. Joining us now to break it all down is Matt Bellany, founding partner of Puck and author of Puck's What I'm Hearing newsletter. Thanks for being with us.
Thanks for having me.
So Netflix built its reputation. It's prided itself on being a builder rather than a buyer. So what does it want with Warner Brothers, and why now?
I think there's a couple things. I mean, Netflix, as prolific as it is, it does not have the intellectual property that has accrued at a 100-year-old studio. Everything from Batman and Superman to Harry Potter to all the films that are in the Warner Brothers library. They can both exploit that on their service, put the films directly on the service, and they can also make new films and TV shows based on that IP. And for a service like Netflix that's really only been making original content for about a decade, that is extremely valuable. And on the HBO side, that's a big competitor. So they take that competitor out, and they also have now a premium version of a streamer to put next to Netflix, where they could use it as an upsell, they could bundle it together, they can get a whole lot of data from it. They can do a lot of things with that. So it's really valuable from both streaming and the studio side.
A group of film producers sent an open letter to Congress warning of, this is a quote, cascading disastrous outcomes if this deal goes through. The Writers Guild of America is also opposed to it. They basically see this as giving Netflix monopolistic control over the industry. Do you see those concerns as being valid?
I do. I think that anytime you take a buyer out of the entertainment ecosystem, that's necessarily going to trickle down to talent. Now, if you ask Netflix, they say they're going to be making more. They're going to do more with these assets. But history has shown that when you buy something, there are synergies. You don't compete against each other for talent. And overall, it helps depress the prices that people are able to get from you. So I do see it. Now, the extent of those concerns are really what's at stake here, because it could be a small problem. It could be a catastrophic problem. If HBO Max simply goes away and Netflix kills it, then that's a huge problem for the talent community. If Warner Brothers stops licensing its films out to other services, or if it stops making TV shows for other services, that's a big problem for the creative community. I think there's a lot of anxiety.
Low-key, this shit makes me appreciate Apple more. I know it's stupid, and Apple is also a exploitative mega corporation that actually engages in tax sheltering by operating out of Ireland and all this stuff. But like in terms of content, at least there's a competitor there. And also it's one where they are straight up dumping money into, they're straight up burning piles of money to make premiere TV shows. Apple TV is so CI coded with how many counterterrorism and spy shows they put out. I haven't really seen any of that stuff because it's not in my field of interest, but I would say the same about like Amazon Prime too. They all make that stuff. They only have Severance? No, Pluribus, Severance. Virtually every Apple TV show that I've watched, even a little bit, is good. And I should have said Prestige or Premium. Whatever, it doesn't matter. Foundation, Silo. Prime has all kinds of junk on it, and so does Apple. It's a money sink. HBO used to do this. The Studio is another great example of this. The Studio is ironically basically glazing Apple for doing that, by the way. Pluribus? Ain't no way, Unc. Pluribus is slop. Bro watched Severance and thinks they're filled with geniuses. Oh my God, this Apple TV gimmick. No. I'm what I'm simply saying is at least there's one streamer that's like still trying to make Emmy bait content, okay? Because I feel like that's the place that HBO used to be. That's the place that HBO used to exist in, okay? Like just putting a shit ton of money into an endeavor that wasn't going to automatically give you or automatically going to yield returns on your investment. Talking like The Pit wasn't a banger. No, HBO still has bangers. But wait a couple years now that Netflix owns it.
Within Hollywood just don't know what's going to happen. And that leads all of these organizations to the darkest place. And they're just trying to plant their flag right now and say, okay, this could be very bad.
What kind of oversight is the Trump administration expected to bring to this deal?
There's a couple things. I mean, it's not the
If they do any oversight at all, it will be specifically to benefit Larry Ellison or some shit, okay? There is no world. I do not have even a fraction of confidence in this administration ever actually following through on oversight for any mega corporation beyond advancing some sort of like petty vengeance agenda, okay? Oh, they made too much woke. You know, I don't want to gift this to Netflix because Netflix hates me. They're doing too woke. They're doing woke too much and I don't like it. That's the only way. That's the only way that you could get any sort of oversight from this administration. They literally have used they used the FTC to try and censor Jimmy Kimmel. Like that's to the extent of the regulatory body at this point and like how they command the regulatory body. If you want to understand it, that's what they're doing.
Transfer of a broadcast television license. So the FCC does not get involved here, but the Justice Department can sue to block this merger if it feels that it runs afoul of antitrust concerns. That actually happens.
Yeah, Netflix, Sarandos needs to give Donald Trump a fake peace prize or something. They need to. That's the way that Trump will allow this merger to go through, you know?
Happened when this company, Time Warner, was sold 2 times ago. And the first Trump administration sued to block it. It lasted about 2 years. Ultimately, the deal was allowed to go through. but it really hampered that company when it merged with AT&T. Now there's the added element of politics in here because the other bidder that did not get this asset is Paramount, which is owned by the Ellison family. And the Ellison family has pretty close ties to Trump. And when the Ellisons bought CBS earlier this year, they installed some more Trump-friendly figures at that company. So the speculation was that Trump really wanted the Ellison family.
Yeah, they're gonna produce whatever the Donald Trump wants as far as movies. Oh my God, I wonder if Donald Trump will be like, you know what? We got to bring back the 90s of peak television and cinema. Okay? You need to do Rush Hour 4, but this time you need to put me in it. Someone like me. A Donald Trump style figure. Every movie has to feature Donald Trump as the good guy. And Donald Trump also has a contractual obligation. Like he has a contract clause like The Rock. The Rock can't be defeated in any of the movies that he's a part of. Or at least back in the day, that was the case. And Donald Trump is going to make like these contractual stipulations that he has to be, one, the main actor, and two, he has to be handsome, and three, he can never be defeated in battle.
Family to buy this company and own CNN, put their own friendlier people at CNN. That didn't happen, and perhaps the Trump administration would intervene here to stop this.
If this merger goes through, what would it mean for CNN and Warner's other cable assets?
Well, this is the interesting thing. Netflix is not buying the cable networks. The other suitor, Paramount, wanted to buy everything, but Netflix didn't. They don't want to be in the cable television business. So what's going to happen is these television assets, including CNN, are going to be spun off into a new company that will debut, they plan, next year. So when that happens, anyone can come along and buy CNN. Could be the Ellison family that already owns CBS. It could be some other rich person. It could be another company in the media space. But CNN will essentially be up for sale when this spinoff happens.
What are you watching for as this potential merger progresses?
I'm watching to see if the Ellison family, the other suitor, they might go hostile on this merger. They might say that this was a bum deal, that they were not given the opportunity to overpay or outbid the entity that got it, Netflix. And they could go directly to the shareholders to stop this. They could also sue, or they could put together a bigger bid and try to steal it away from Netflix. That happened when Fox was sold about a decade ago. Comcast came in and tried to block Disney from buying the Fox assets with a bigger bid and ultimately made Disney pay more money to acquire Fox than it would have if they had not come along. So this is the early days of this merger, even though they have a signed deal.
Matt Bellany of Puck, thanks so much for walking us through all this. We appreciate it.
Thank you.
Yeah, I'm afraid this is going to block. Trump is going to block this deal, then gift wrap WB, Warner Brothers, and hand it over to his buddy Ellison to become another extreme right-wing propaganda media machine. Yeah. You know, things can always get worse, I guess. Someone's got to merge, though. You know? Buy CNN using a rigged Kelshi bet. One about buying CNN. It's great. You think they miss Lena Khan now? Who's they? The reason why Lena Khan wasn't brought back is specifically so that they could do stuff like this without any scrutiny whatsoever. That's the whole point, chatter. When you say they, do you mean like